beautiful? Our scripture this morning is now from Genesis 4, taking off from where we read. And Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gotten a man for the Lord. That's Genesis 4, verse 1. And so, with the birth of Cain and Abel, we have the first mention of motherhood in the Bible. I find it both inspiring, kind of the humanesque Big Bang, and inherently unsatisfying. There's just so much unsaid, and it seems a lot of it is under duress. And as a father, I know there's a whole lot more to the parental process. It's as if Genesis says, Adam and Eve got a puppy, and just stop right there. A mere 7 verses later, the kids are grown, Abel is dead, and the Bible goes on a long lineage of deaths, basically. And in this list of lineages, when the men die, their deaths are noted. Adam, for example, apparently lived to 930 years of age, but not the women. Even Eve's passing, the figurative mother of us all, is not mentioned at all. Not her age, not her death, not her burial. Now, this might obviously be another example of misogynistic myopia, but hopefully, as a representation of the earthly manifestation of things, she simply returns to the ground, into the soil. And as we read, Genesis 3:20, so Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. So she's therefore earth itself, and waits patiently for us to come limping back home in times of crisis, times when we desperately need to be held in the arms of our spiritual mother. But the troubling thing about recording the deeds of one parent and not the other is that it sets up this inherently dualistic relationship, father versus mother, good cop, bad cop, or in psychological terms, nature, nurture. The Greeks were in fact the first ones to write about these complementary ideas, and the Bible clearly leans on the heavily nature component. We are born fully cooked. Cain will be Cain, and there's not much that Adam and Eve can do about it. Now, on the other hand, the more nature side, that became more famous, not just by the Greeks, but more given a title, perhaps, in the Age of Reason by John Locke, around 1700. He weighed heavily on the nurture side of development with the idea that we are not predestined, but we are rather tabula rosas, a blank slate. And this nature-nurture is often pitted against each other. However, we know from our own lives that this is impossible. We are never entirely one thing or another. To give birth to any idea, we must be aware of and enact the holistic truth that we are created by 2 parental energies. The masculine aspect of creation demands vision, courage, clear direction, and action. But once that seed is planted, mother energy germinates those plans, desires, ideas, through nourishment and cultivation. And as metaphysicians, we know very well that we do not need to be reminded that when we speak of women, feminine energy, or motherhood, we do not exclusively mean those who are of the female gender, nor must you literally give birth to a child. I don't even think you need to love or like your biological mother. We accept that the divine feminine carries a series of traits for all of us. She's endlessly supportive, rejuvenating, comforting, and understanding. But this is not to say she does not have wisdom. In fact, several years ago, I gave a sermon about the serpent being the source of knowledge, not the tempter that instigates the fall of humankind. And according to some Gnostic texts, most notably the Testimony of Truth, the tempter is the complete opposite of evil. The snake is divine wisdom. And fittingly, the snake approaches Eve first, not the thick-headed Adam. Leaving the Garden of Eden is therefore not a punishment, as indicated, as we read, by the invitatory and responsorial, but as a rite of passage, a liberation that grows out of our awakening consciousness. And we find ourselves now on this remarkable journey of finding our way back to Eden, though this time with full consciousness, greater knowledge, higher awareness. And we have Eve to thank for that initial step. Now, these are external and symbolic views of motherhood, but one of the life-changing aspects of metaphysics is that we're constantly encouraged to internalize these theoretical lessons. So in this vein, we should look now at how our internal mother and how we can internalize our own mother self, where we can strengthen that intrapersonal relationship. And on a simplistic view, just imagine what that might feel like. We might feed ourselves very well, for one. Something tasty, nutritious, not too much, not too little. We would let ourselves sleep a little longer, take a nap, go for a walk, sit in the bathtub, or cuddle up under a blanket. The amazing thing to our internal mother is that there seems to be no end to this. So there's no real need to peel ourselves away and show that we are rugged individuals after all. Which brings me to another component of divine motherhood and self-mothering, which is endless patience. Mother energy does not care how long we need to recuperate. She's brilliant at balancing the masculine energies of movement, action, and ambition by always saying, of course you can do that. You have the talent, you have the power, you have the free will to do anything you wish. But first, how about a cookie? So no matter how much drive we may have, there's only so much that can be done. Our internal mother cherishes the reflection and downtime. Mother always seems to say it's okay to rest first, eat well, be healthy, and accomplish later. To this, I would add one more highlight of a piece of motherly wisdom. Beyond feeling safe and protected, Mother Energy also offers an appropriate dash of disillusionment. She knows our essence beyond our personality because she was there at the beginning. So let us take this day, this week, this month, to drop parts of our personality that no longer suit us. The parts we may have outgrown. The parts our mother has raised us out of. Some of these traits we were not even born with. We don't need them going forward. Growth is painful in part from altered expectations, and that heartbreak brings us right back to Mother, who greets us once again with a recipe of equal parts humility, comfort, and peace. I've known your soul before it had a face, so therefore I see how you endure beyond all circumstances. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain and said, I have gotten a man for the Lord, can now be paraphrased in more modern terms. Look, I have manifest humankind in the image of God. The feminine aspect of God manifests our existence and has for eons. So thank you, Mother, for your patience, for nurturing our essence underneath our choices and beyond life's events, for leaving the door open so that we may always come home. Or as we might say from our principles, Mom's kitchen door to reformation is never closed. Now go call your mother. Whether she's biological, surrogate, in spirit, adopted, the mother you wish to be, the mother you chose not to be, or the mother inside your own heart. Many blessings.